Health. This week we are doing, or we are researching drugs. And the question we started off with this week: what are the 4 ways a drug can be used? And when you think about that, don't limit it to just drugs that you know. Any drug out there can be used 4 ways potentially. What do you think those 4 ways drugs are used? How do they get into the body? Is the question. If you came up with inhaled, which means to snort through your nose or smoke something, you're right. And when I think of that, I think of cigarettes. Another way is swallowed, that means to be eaten or drank. And I think of alcohol as a way. Injection, which means to use a needle. There are drugs like heroin that can be used through needles. And then the 4th way is absorbed. It's really a rare way to see, but it means to be absorbed through skin or the tissues in your mouth. If you've ever seen chewing tobacco, which is in the bottom right corner there, chewing tobacco is a great example of absorbing the drug into your bloodstream. So this week you're going to choose a drug topic of interest. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. You're going to make sure you do the research for that. It's independent by yourself, and then you'll create a PowerPoint presentation and take an exit ticket reflecting on why it's important for you to never use the drug that you researched. So how do drugs actually get in the body? Or how do people who use drugs feel the effects? We know it gets in the body through either the mouth, the nose, or inhaling and smoking, or absorbing through the skin, or a needle. But once the drug enters the body, and let's use alcohol as an example, it'll enter through the mouth, down the esophagus, into the stomach. From the stomach, it'll enter the bloodstream, and then once blood circulates through the body, and if it has a drug in it, eventually that blood goes to the brain. And when that blood with the drug in it gets to the brain, that's how the brain feels the effects, what we call for alcohol being drunk or intoxicated. Or if it's other drugs, high. How soon or how long the effects can happen depends on how the drug is used and just the nature of the drug. So it could be minutes, or it could take hours before someone feels the effects. What we're going to ask you to do now is go to My MCPS Classroom. Click on my 7th grade class, and when you do, click on assignments at the top. You're going to scroll all the way down to drug topic research, and when you do, this document will open up. I'm going to go over the questions, and then I'm going to tell you how to use these 4 websites. So once you figure out the drug topic you want to research, you'll write the name right here. That way when I look at your notes, I know what I'm reading about. Here are the questions. What are 5 different street names of the drug? Okay, so if you're researching marijuana, what are the different street names or nicknames people call the drug that you find off the websites? You might know a few off your head, but make sure you see them off the websites. I'll show you that in a second. Where does the drug originate from? So what's some history about the drug? Where did it come from? Where did it start? What country is it predominantly seen in? How is the drug used? Is there more than one way? So we talked about that there's 4 potentially ways a drug can be used. It doesn't mean the drug is always used that 4 ways, but what does the research websites suggest that how are they using the drugs? Sometimes you'll see it's only one way. Sometimes you'll see it might be all 4, or it might be 2 of the 4. See which way. What are the short-term consequences of using the drug? So what are the short-term effects? There are 4. What are the 3 long-term effects from using the drug for many years? So what happens to me if I use the drug for many years? Can you actually overdose on this drug? Can you actually die? Some drugs you can, some haven't been proven that you can or cannot. Watch video. So you're going to click on this link here and watch the video. The username's MVMS, password's MVMS. What does the word addiction mean based off of the video? What does it mean to build tolerance from the video? And what are withdrawal symptoms one might have if they get addicted to drugs and they try to quit? Additional facts, you don't have to do this, but this is optional. If you think there's some other cool things that we should know, you get to write them right there in the box. Okay. When it comes to using these websites, use all 4. You're not going to find the answers to all the questions just using one link. Use all 4. I would start with the Just Think Twice, which is the 3rd link, especially for trying to figure out what drug topic you want to research, because it has photos. So if you're not sure and you're a visual person about the different drugs, you might want to look at the photos and go, oh, that's what heroin looks like. I think I'm going to research this. And if you notice, what is it? It kind of gives you a background on it. Street names. Oh, here, Big H, Black Tar. I can actually copy and paste these into my notes. How is it taken? Oh, the answer's right here. Injected, smoked, or sniff or snorted. That's how that drug is used. So there's 3 or 4 ways people use that drug. How does it affect my body? So that would be short-term effects or possibly even long-term. And if you actually come here, you can even click on fact sheet. Oh, what is its origin? Heroin is processed from morphine. So it's a drug that comes from morphine, and it's extracted from this plant called poppy seeds. Okay. It looks like these are the big areas it's from. So like read this and break it down into what's the basis about this drug? Where does it come from? And does it come from plants or is it man-made? Let us know. What are the overdose effects? So it looks like you can overdose on this drug. How is it abused? How does it affect the mind? So there's more information off these different websites with photos that you can even include as well. And then the last thing that we're gonna ask you to do is go to my MCPS classroom. It'll be drug-free reflection. And when you open that form up, it's gonna ask for your first name, your last name, and what drug you researched. So put the name of the drug that you researched, and then in 3 to 5 sentences, especially using your notes, tell me why it's important for you to not use this drug. So don't just make up answers. Looking at your notes, tell me the dangers of the drug and why you wouldn't want to be addicted to it based on what you're trying to do with your life. All right, Cougars, have a great week, and thank you much.